Hi, Dolly. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to talk today. For anyone who has not been in the world of Dolly Delong, will you give us an introduction and an overview of all of the amazing things you do?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I am so excited you are finally putting out your podcast. This is so exciting. People are going to learn so much from you. But my name is Dolly Delong. I am a Nashville-based family photographer and a branding photographer for small business owners. And the third hat I wear is I am a creative business. Since I own a creative business, I also teach other creative business owners about the systems and workflows of the behind the scenes puzzle pieces of their business. So I just kind of said that in a very complicated way. So I just essentially like educating on all things systems, workflows, and SOPs, and making it like easy to digest for other creative minded business owners. So I do that through my podcast, which is the Systems and Workflow Magic podcast. And I also do that through blog posts and VIP days. And so I feel like I am like most business owners, very multi-passionate. So those are my three main things that I'm known for. And then I also am married to my husband, Ty, and then I have two sons, Blaze and Jack. So I'm a boy mom. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell right now in life.
And you really make people's lives easier because you're constantly talking about ways to automate things, ways to just simplify things, which you're a small business owner. I think you have one virtual assistant that helps you, right? But for most of it is you, like, powering through the mornings, which I always really appreciate because I also do not have a large team, and it's not really my goal to necessarily. So you really focus on how can we optimize everything so that way you don't have to have this large, expensive team doing everything for you, which is a lot more realistic when we own our own small businesses.
Yes, that's really true. And I'm so glad you brought that up because I try to be as real as possible with other small business owners and the way I run my business. I know from the outside looking in, a person can be like, wow, like she has it all figured out, or she like is so like, I promise you, I guarantee you, I'm like figuring this out day by day, and it's taking me a long time to lay a foundation. So, but yeah, I'm so glad you pointed that out as well.
And I'm so excited to talk about bundles today. So will you give everyone just a little bit of background about your bundle? And you've run a couple of them now. So just kind of explain the growth of how the Systems and Workflow Magic bundle has come to be over the years.
Yeah, definitely. So like I shared earlier before, I like educating other creative business owners about the power of systems, workflows, and SOPs on the back end of their business. And just like to make a very long explanation short, the reason why I chose this area is not only because I'm a creative business owner, but I have seen the need for and the struggle for creative business owners not really having that bridge of understanding of how to properly streamline and automate certain aspects of their business. Now, I'm a firm believer that there has to be a hybrid. Like you have to have like your hand in certain parts of your business, and then certain parts can be automated, or certain parts can have an SOP that can be handed off. But like, how do you take the steps to do that? And that can be overwhelming for traditionally a lot of creative-minded business owners, because we didn't start our business to work on our business. We started our business, to be creative and to produce these beautiful, like whatever, like art or like whatever service-based creative business owners do specifically. And so my passion, my sweet spot is to like bring that bridge and bring it in a fun, easy to digest way. And so why bundles is because, well, a bundle essentially is a lead magnet. So I describe it as a lead magnet. And for the listeners who are listening, and for you're learning about a lead magnet right now, or you're like, okay, so what is a lead magnet? So a lead magnet, I like to describe it as a way to lead people closer to your services and offers, but it gives you that free, like, it's essentially a free item in exchange for your email address, but it gives you a quick win within your business. And so with a bundle, I look at it as it's a creative way to strategically grow your email list with other contributors, with other collaborators who align with your services and products. So I looked at this bundle as an opportunity to not only grow my email list in a new way, a lead magnet, but I also looked at it as an opportunity to really get to know other business owners who are in alignment with my services and to collaborate with them, essentially. And so I started doing this type of email list growth starting 2 years ago. And I've just incorporated it in my business ever since.
And bundles are really one of the few ways where you can have a lead magnet that's super collaborative with someone else. Because usually you're making a PDF or you're making a quiz and it's just Mara or it's just Dolly. But bundles, you pull from a ton of different business owners, and then it's super valuable for the receiver because they're learning from multiple people. And then there's also a lot of value as a business owner, which I'm sure we'll dive into more because there's a lot of reasons why bundles are super helpful to grow your business. Will you give just a really simple explanation of kind of how a bundle works and what it is for someone who's like, bundle? What are they talking about? What is this? What does this mean? What is it a bundle of?
Yeah, definitely. So like I shared earlier, it's essentially, like, I love that you shared it's not just one person, like not just Mara doing something or not just Dolly doing something, but it is a collaboration with other business owners. And it's not just a random collaboration. It needs to be, in order for it to truly impact the consumer and the business owner, so both ends, it should be a bundle of not services, but a bundle of templates, a bundle of mini courses, a bundle of resources that will help your ideal client out in the short run and in the long run as well. And so it's essentially working with other like-minded or very similar business owners for the goal of not only growing your email list, but serving very similar audiences and helping them like go from point A to point B in like whatever the goal of the bundle is. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay.
And there's really two types of bundles because there's free ones and there's paid ones, which sometimes people don't realize. And so I kind of want to touch on both because you've run both.
Yeah.
And so you know the ins and outs and the pros and cons. So will you kind of give an overview of how a free bundle works? And then we can switch to talking about why someone might do a paid one and why there's some great things about a paid one and why there's also a little more setup involved as well.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about, I actually really like talking about the pros and cons of both because I see like good, like pros and cons for both. And I see the need, if a business owner wants to do a bundle, I would highly recommend them starting with a free and then trying a paid later on down the line. So let's talk about the pros of a free bundle. Like obviously one pro is that it's free. Another pro is that it will actually generate more email subscribers because there's no paid gate or fence that they have to go through. Another pro is that with like free bundles, there isn't a necessary risk that somebody has to take. That kind of goes with point two, like they don't have to pay, so there's no risk.
Yeah.
And so that it's just like, I don't know, that is something that I've noticed more with free bundles. And then another good thing I think about free bundles and a lot of bundles that I've been a part of or I have led is that you have a certain amount of time to access the different templates or the resources within the free bundle. You have like a week or 2 weeks to download everything before it goes away. And so there is a time limit on free bundles normally. And so that causes the business owner to actually take action and to either consume the products or to make a plan to consume it later on down the line since they downloaded it. So that is why there's that instant spike of email subscribers for a lot of free bundles, because there's that time limit. And so I see that as a pro in giving you a spike in email subscribers, but then the con of that is not having a plan for what to do with your new email subscribers once you get let's say you are a part of a free bundle and they only have 1 week to subscribe to and download to all the free resources given, and you have 500 new subscribers. Well, then that's great. That's a great number. But then what is your plan of action afterwards? Like, how are you strategically integrating them into your world? And so that's where a con comes in. There's no plan of action. So I guess, yeah. So free, like the free part, those are the pros.
Yeah.
That, like off the top of my head, I can think of.
Yeah. And the free is definitely an easier decision for people. I've been a part of both free and paid. And the free, I got way more email subscribers, like way more. But those people weren't necessarily as warm. They weren't as familiar with me. And a lot of those people didn't open my emails in the future. They never bought anything. Where we're going to transition to talking about paid. But when I've done a paid bundle, like your amazing bundle, I got a lot of people who came back and said, hey, what other products do you sell? Or they became a really engaged part of my community. So I guess we can get into some of the pros and cons of deciding to do a paid bundle. And I guess I should clarify, when we say free, we mean free to the consumer. It still requires a lot of work to set up. You still need software. It's not necessarily, I don't think there's any way it would be free for the host of the bundle. And then paid is where there's some sort of fee to access the bundle. Sometimes it's like $37 or $97 or more, depending on the value inside of the bundle.
That's right. And like, I didn't want to sound like overly negative with the cons of a free bundle, but unfortunately you will get those freebie seekers. And again, there's nothing wrong with wanting a freebie. I'm always looking for a free resource to help me solve XYZ. And then once I find it, I may opt out. So like, hey, I'm not dogging on anybody who likes free items, but you're right. It is very essential to look at different, like, I know this is kind of like a deeper topic to bundles, but if if you are planning on running a bundle, whether it be free or whether it be paid, I want you to start thinking about, like, I know this is something we're going to talk about later on, but I just want you to plant the seed in your head to start thinking about a very strategic theme to your bundle that makes sense for your future consumer. Because if you just have like a random bundle full of random things, of course, like, you're going to get the freebie seekers and then they're going to unsubscribe because they have like no business being on your email list, like, because you don't need to serve them, like, they are not your ideal client. And so that is a con of another con of a bundle. And so I know I'm going to be all over the place with this bundle conversation.
That's
Mara.
totally okay.
Keep me on track.
I was going to say, I really wanted to dive into theme, and we will come back and talk about the pros and cons of paid, because you just hosted a paid bundle, and I'm sure have a lot of insight about that. But I want to talk about a little more choosing a specific theme, because I've been a part of bundles where the theme, basically there was no theme. The theme was online business, and I got a lot of email subscribers, but then I was in a sea of like maybe even 100 other people who were in this bundle. And that is so many people to wade through. These people who sign up are now getting hundreds and hundreds of emails. So will you talk a little bit about choosing a specific theme, why it's important, and then how you chose a theme for your bundle?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually fell into this trap myself of when I led my first ever bundle, obviously called the Systems and Workflow Magic Bundle. My overarching theme was the systems and workflows, like, just overall for the back end of your business. Well, I wasn't really thinking that through the first time. And I was like, oh yeah, it will help a creative business owner with systems and workflows. But that's really broad because there are tons of systems and workflows on the back end of your business. There's like the financial side. There's email marketing. There's funnels. There is content creation. There, like literally everything I just said has its own system and workflow, and then like iterations of that. And so that's why I think that is another reason why I had such an influx of subscribers right away, because my first bundle brought in a little under 4,000 subscribers within a week. And yes, I have retained a lot of them since then, but a lot, like there was a certain percentage of that number that it just didn't make sense for them to stick along with me. And so I learned, like sat aside and looked at just like what went well, what didn't go well. And what didn't go well was not really honing in on the theme and just like doing a broad theme that I thought was like specific enough, but it wasn't. So I decided this past year to do, again, the Systems and Workflow Magic Bundle, but to make it about the systems and workflows of digital funnels, because that's very specific and you can do a lot with that. Like that's why I had like top of funnel resources, middle of funnel resources, bottom of funnel resources, and beyond the funnel. And that's how I was able to get over 30 different contributors who spoke on these different parts of the digital funnel, the systems of the digital funnel. And so I think just taking the time to map it out and see how it aligns with my side, like my business, and what I want to teach and who I want to reach. When I took the time to do that, I was able to have clarity in how I wanted the bundle to look like and who I wanted to reach out to as far as contributors go. Because I didn't want it just to be a Mod Podge again. Like I want it to be very specific and very targeted. And it's scary to get super niche and super targeted because you just like want to serve everyone. But with me, I had learned like, okay, I may not get as many subscribers from this, but I will serve like my ideal client and it will go very well. And I'm so glad I listened to that gut feeling in me.
It also, as a contributor, made it so much easier to market because instead of saying, hey, there's a bundle with 50 of my closest friends, I was able to say, hey, there's a bundle that will teach you funnels. It will teach you how to make money and use a funnel properly. And that was so much easier because it was so much more clear of what the value of the bundle is, what are the results, and exactly what it's going to help you out with versus, I love how you called it like a mishmash. That's what a lot of bundles are. It's kind of like a grab bag, which can work great some of the time, but it doesn't really give people like a clear action or clear priority steps. So they kind of just get lost either before they decide to buy or opt in, or they get lost after and they just never use your resources and never connect with you.
Exactly. And like another, I guess, like, I know I'm so sorry to the listeners who are listening in, like, cause like I'm like going back and forth between like the two questions, but like a con of any type of bundle, whether it be paid or free, is this, like the person who is in charge of the bundle, the creator of the bundle, there's no like strategy mapped out. It's just their only goal is one goal: get as many email subscribers as possible. Yes, that's awesome, but if the goal is not to, again, I'm not trying to sound all like goody, like you should never like want to grow your business because it should only be about serving. You should want to grow your business, but you should also, in the same like facet, like be keenly aware of how you can use whatever tool you have at your disposal right now. We're talking about bundles. Use this tool to help serve your ideal client. And yes, there could be some amazing strategic growth in that. And so I just like want to remind anybody who's listening in, if a bundle is on your to-do list, either this year or next year, either you're wanting to lead one and you're wanting to learn how to utilize it to grow out your email list, remember to consider the humans like behind who are going, the business owners who are going to be subscribing to your email list, and also to your contributors. Like, make sure you humanize them, and then also make sure like it's not just about you and your business.
Yeah, and you did such a great job of that in your bundle, because
thank you.
It really felt like a collaborative effort with a bunch of different entrepreneurs, some of which I knew and some of which I became friends with through the process of being in Dolly's bundle and connecting, which was really great, because it doesn't always feel that way. It doesn't always feel collaborative. It doesn't really feel like you're truly helping each other out now. And there's still people who were in that bundle, and all the time I refer, like, oh, you need SEO, you need to go talk to Rebecca because I met her through the bundle and now I know. So will you talk a little bit more about some of the pros of doing a paid one instead of the free? And then we can also get into a few of the cons as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I guess with pros of a paid, well, you're getting paid, and like you have, it is more of a little bit more of an elevated experience in my mind of people who are serious in wanting to learn about whatever XYZ topic of the bundle is. So because they've taken that risk of, like handing over their credit card. Okay, I'm trusting you and I am wanting to purchase this bundle and download these resources to help with XYZ. So you're getting paid. Another pro I have discovered for myself is the connections you're making with other business owners. I have met, I think, like even more better than getting paid is the connections I've built out in the last 2 years through bundles. And it's because like you were sharing, like there are some people I did not even know 3 years ago, and now like we are connected either from a free bundle or a paid bundle or a collaboration, and now I refer people to specific people. And I've even referred people to you, Mara, like because I see like the specific talent and the specific wisdom that you share with your audience and what you do, and I want to funnel people, no pun intended in the word funnel, since that was our past bundle, but I want to funnel people to you and get to know you. So that would be another pro of a paid bundle, because I trust you. Start building a trusted relationship with these contributors because they understand it's a paid bundle. They are serious. I mean, most of the business owners I've worked with in paid bundles are serious about their business. So they are putting their best foot forward and presenting themselves in a very professional manner. And they're delivering a very great product, a really good service, like a template, mini course, whatever. That's not just a rushed afterthought that sometimes I've noticed has been the case in free products and free bundles. It's just like, oh, I slapped this PDF together, I slapped this training together, it makes no sense, here you go. And versus the paid, it's more polished, it's more refined, and because somebody paid for it. So that would be another pro of a paid bundle. And then another pro in my mind is that there might be a limited amount of time to purchase. So that gives people an incentive to buy and purchase right away. Because again, not trying to pressure them, like it's not, you're not trying to pressure them into buying, but it is a limited amount of time, because when will XYZ products ever be together for this price? And so it gives them an incentive to purchase in order to support an X amount of contributors at the same time.
Yes, and most of the time, especially with Dolly's bundle, it's an incredible deal. A free bundle, often people are giving away resources that are maybe already free on their website, or maybe it's something they created. With a paid bundle, you really should be getting mini courses or templates. I think everyone, do you have the number, Dolly, of how much the value was in the bundle and then how much you sold it for? Because wild. And this
Yeah.
is why there has to
Yeah.
be a deadline on it.
Yeah, so this still is wild to me. And I always have to tell people this is not a made up number. I actually went through several times and added everything up to make sure. And I went even to their product pages just to double check, like, are they making this number up? But the total amount was $6,900, like a little bit over that. And then, so the bundle, we sold it for $97. And so that is where a lot of, like, people were like, is this too good to be true? Like, is it really worth $6,900? And can I really get it for $97? And will I really get the value out? And so, because I know, like, for past bundles, people have been weird or slimy or icky about it, and like people have been burned by bundles, unfortunately. And so I wanted to, so sometimes it was hard for me to communicate, yes, like this is actually the value, this is how much it's going to be for, this is how long you have to access these courses, and you really will get this XYZ transformation because these are trusted online business owners who are actual experts in this part of the funnel or this part of the funnel. So I did a lot of homework beforehand to make sure all of the puzzle pieces of this digital funnel bundle made sense. I just it wasn't just like a hodgepodge. It made sense. And so, but sometimes, like people who have been burned by past bundles, they may be skeptical, and you can't change a person's mindset, unfortunately. So,
and it's unfortunately a thing that does happen in the online business world. I see with online courses all the time. People have on their sales page, the course is $997, but it's worth $20,000. And some of that is true, but there's definitely a number that goes too far. And I think you had a question when we were submitting all of our final assets, and it was like, where does this product normally live? So you could actually go see the sales page, and she could add up what people are selling it for. And I think everything in the bundle were real products that people are selling. Mm-hmm. And by real products, I just mean you could go buy it, or they have sold it at some point for a limited time offer. It wasn't like a made up product that we were just deciding to now sell, which made it incredibly valuable for the people who purchased.
Yeah, I do want to say, this is something that I've learned in the past, 3 years of doing online education. And when I realized this, I was like, oh, this actually makes sense. And okay, so if you're listening in and you want to be a part of a bundle, or you want to lead a bundle, and you're always wondering, there's this one or two online business owner who always has the same thing that they offer every single bundle, it's intentional. And because they probably made this product specifically for a bundle to lead into their email list, and then to lead into a higher ticket offer. But their strategy, not just low ticket offers for ad purposes, but there's also strategy in creating a lower ticket digital offer so that you can quickly contribute it to a bundle, and that's in alignment with your business, of course. And so you're not always creating low ticket offers for every bundle that you've been asked to be a part of. So this is my homework assignment for those of you who are listening in. Now is the time to start noticing different business owners, they might offer the same thing for each bundle, for different bundles. And there's a strategy in that, because they can't just always be creating new small ticket items, or they might have one or two items that they switch in and out, but there's a strategy to it. And I think that's really smart, and in the long run, it's saving them time, but it also it fits with the bundle. And I do this with 2 or 3 of my products. And now I'm going to say it, and people are going to start noticing that.
I do it. I was going to say, I do it too. I have 1 to 2 products that are slightly different than something I sell. They have a few more bonuses to them. Yeah. And now, because it's not just setting up the product. Usually you need a welcome sequence. So for this bundle, I had ThriveCart templates. So after someone downloads my ThriveCart templates, they get a welcome sequence that shows them how to use it and gives them additional resources. So it's not just about creating it, giving it to Dolly and saying, goodbye, deal with it. Like, you have to actually then nurture and support these people. And the other thing is then when I get approached to be in a bundle, I have all of the assets, because it's a lot of work to set up all of this stuff. And that's, I guess, a great segue. Will you talk a little bit about the setup and planning of the bundle and how long it took you?
Yeah, so I'm what you call very intense. I have a very intense personality. It can be overwhelming, but I use it to my advantage because so as far as runway for planning goes, I gave myself a very long runway for planning out the plan bundle. I gave myself a 6-month runway, and for somebody who's listening in, you're like, Dolly, it was only $97, like 6 months of planning? Yes, I gave myself 6 months because it not only involved me, but it involved over 30 different contributors. So I was also working on 30 different contributors, like runways, like timelines as well, because I planned this from July of 2022 to February 2023. And the deadline, like, I'm gonna like make you laugh again, Mara, because like I know you were sick of me saying this to you as a contributor, but I gave all the contributors a deadline by December 1st, 2022, because my son was born in December, and I did not want to deal with any last minute stragglers. So like Mara can attest, like I probably was annoying about this, but I would like remind everyone weekly leading up to December, like, you better turn your stuff in because I'm about to give birth and I do not want to organize anything after Jack comes. But of course, like, I tried to say it in a funny way to make people laugh at me, but I was like, at the back of my mind, I'm like, please just turn everything in.
You so I can, did like, do it. I think there was usually like a weekly message you would send, and it was actually very helpful because so this was in the fall, and for me the fall is when everyone's launching their online course, January and then September. So I was doing a bunch of client launches, and I think you approached me maybe initially in September or August. So it was really nice because I had these ThriveCart templates, but I wanted to refresh them because ThriveCart had made some updates, and so Dolly reminded me, had very specific deadlines, which was amazing, because then what happened was everything got turned in December. We went on break for Christmas. The bundle started like gearing up to sell in January and February, and I did not have a lot of work to do after Christmas, which was amazing because I've been part of bundles where the week of everyone's panicking and stressing, and that is not how it felt to me at all.
Well, yeah, that was my goal because I have been a part of bundles. The same thing happened. And as the contributor, I was like, this is stressful. I don't like how I feel right now. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to cause a strain between me and the bundle creator. Because, like, I don't like having strain between me and anybody. And so, I've taken those lessons learned and I applied it to like my own bundle creation. And so that's why I gave myself such a long runway, and I wanted to invite potential contributors starting in July and August and give everybody a deadline by September to let me know if they're in or out. And I will say, finding contributors, like, I may seem like, oh, like, I love, like, it doesn't scare me, but you all, it scares me to death to pitch to contributors and find contributors, because you're essentially, like, in my mind, I'm essentially pitching, like, this, like, small, like, goal that I have, and it's not a goal of theirs. Like, they're like, this is not my goal. And so I want, and also, like, the fear of rejection is a real thing, and the fear of sounding like an idiot, or the fear of not being, nobody can see me, but Mara can, not big enough. I'm using air quotes. Like, I'm like, well, I'm not big enough. Like, I'm not important enough. You start making all these excuses, and then you don't pitch because you're like, well, nobody likes me, or you just make up all these false narratives about yourself. So I had to for the past 3 years, I've overcome, like, seriously, I still have to overcome these false narratives that I don't know where they came from. But once I did that, I would say to the listener, over pitch to, let's say you want 20 contributors, then pitch to 40 people. Because people are going to say no to you, or people will ghost you, or people will say yes and then not show up. And so just mentally prepare yourself for that. Mentally prepare yourself for no's. Mentally prepare yourself for the rejections, and don't take it personally. Like it's not you, and it's not really them either. It's just like that may not be in alignment with what a potential contributor wants to do. And so that's why you need to find contributors and pitch to them early on, not like a month before the bundle, not even 2 months before the bundle. Give yourself plenty of runway, and give the future contributors plenty of runway to add this workload into their client work, because your contributors, like, they also have lives. So that, like Mara, like I know for a fact she has, like, Mara, you have a lot of like business owners you're doing one-on-one service business with. I'm not, like, probably butchering all the words, I'm sorry, but I know your load is heavy, so you're gonna balance. I didn't expect you to drop everything, all your work, to just focus on Dolly's bundle. That would be incredibly selfish on my end. So try to also realize that business owners are also balancing out this bundle contribution on top of their workload and on top of whatever life circumstances they're walking through. So that's why you should start pitching early on, like make the planning process early on, and then pitch to contributors right after you strategically plan everything out. And then go from there. Because again, if you start pitching last minute, it won't go well. It really will not go well.
No, and it makes for not as good of a bundle in general. It makes it so much harder to market, because I was able, when Dolly approached me, to put like a big block on the calendar of when this bundle was going to be on sale. I put some reminders of like, hey, we're going to send an email this day and this day. And then I was able to actually do those things because she had first dibs on that stuff, where if someone approaches you a few weeks out or even a month out, realistically, like, your email marketing calendar is probably set. As Dolly said, I'm a business owner who still takes on a lot of one-on-one client work. So I don't have time to just drop everything. So I really appreciated that you were like, we're spending the next 6 months together. I will hold your hand. I'm going to remind you every Friday. And it was great from my end. Will you talk about maybe some of the hard things about hosting a bundle? Because there's a lot more weight on your shoulders than there is on the contributors.
Yeah. So the biggest thing was time management. For me, when I get excited about something, I just like want to work on only that, because like I also am a service provider. I'm a photographer. I do a lot of family photography and branding photography. And then I also have my systems and workflow education. So I have clients through that part of my business. So I have to have I have to map out my time very strategically. And if you guys didn't know this, if you haven't like already heard, I have 2 little ones. And
which
so
you
I'm
were
managing my
pregnant during this whole bundle.
Yes.
I know we touched on that, but I just don't want to discount that Dolly was doing all of this right before her son Jack was born, which was incredible.
Well, thank you. I really attest the success of this bundle, the past bundle, to him. I'm like, I think he gave me some sort of creative power, because like, just like knowing him now on the other side, like outside in the world, I'm like, wow, this, I don't know. My husband's listening and he's probably like, Dolly, you sound like crazy. But I'm like, I really think my son is going to be a creative genius. I don't know. But all jokes aside from that, but I had to be very intentional with my time. So I knew going into the 6-month like pre-launch that I had to dedicate 1 day a week specifically for bundle planning. And like, even if there was a temptation to wanting to like do, oh, I'll like cheat a little on a Tuesday, I'll cheat a little on Wednesday. Like I had to tell myself, no, Dolly, the only reason you can cheat is if like you genuinely don't have any clients, like things to work on or editing to do. Like if you genuinely have free time, then do it. Otherwise, Fridays for me are my bundle planning days. Like, and it still is. Like right now I'm planning another big event and it's dedicated solely to Fridays, and that's when I get all of my work done. And yes, like I get antsy during the week because I'm like, oh, I just want to work on this because it's so much fun. It's a creative outlet for me. It's a passion project. Like I just love doing it, but I have to be very intentional with my time because I also need to make money within my business. And so I need to market myself for my money making parts of my business. And so I think like if I were to leave like any nugget of wisdom to a listener, it would be plan out your launch period and make sure you assign dates to work on your bundle, and don't just work on your bundle and neglect the money making side of your business, because you do need to make money. It's a business. You do need to make money. And so I guess don't put all your eggs in one basket, like as far as planning goes. Like hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's so true because a bundle is really just one element of a business. And I know there are businesses out there and all they do are bundles, but most of us, that's not the case. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the results. So you mentioned the bundle was a value of $6,900. That is the value of the products inside. It was sold for $97. I think it was sold for about a week. Will you remind me of what the deadline was people had to buy?
Yeah, so they had a little over a week. So February, the weekend before February 6th, I'd opened it up, and then it ran for a total of, I should just like look at my calendar, but I'm not. It ran a total of about 10 days total from cart open to cart close. And so something that I did I don't know if this is something that could be helpful for a listener, but if a listener is wondering, well, Dolly, how did you like lead in to promote it? So what I did, I had mentioned earlier, I have a podcast. And so I decided to create content to hype people up about this bundle leading up to cart open. So for 8 weeks, I had each podcast was about a part of the digital funnel, and it featured one of the contributors. And I made sure that to include like ads about the bundle, how to sign up for the wait list, and why they should, like, I essentially like built my content on top of the other, like a domino effect. And again, that took a lot of planning on my part in July to look down the line for 6 months and to see how this was all going to work out together. And that can be very overwhelming for a lot of business owners who, you know, we want a quick hit. We want a quick fix. We want a quick cash injection. We want an instant ROI. We want everything instant. But with this, like, this was not instant gratification. This was like, I am looking down the line. One of the bundle contributors, oh my goodness, she describes non-instant gratification as trying to have a crock pot mentality versus a microwave mentality. And so I will attribute that to her. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I talk to her every day on Instagram. And of course, my mind is going blank with her. Oh man, she's like the sweetest. And she was a part of the bundle too. It'll come to me. Her name will come to me. She's awesome. But she has spoken about the need for many business owners to have a crock pot mentality and to like let things simmer and savor and like to cook for a long time versus something just like instantly cook in a microwave. Like, you won't enjoy that as much as you will enjoy something in the long run. All that to say is all the content led into the cart open and the cart close, and the cart open and the cart close was about 10 days. It was $97. There were no discounts because it's $97 from $6,900. So I was like, I'm not going to offer any early bird discounts, any specials. It's going to be consistently the same price. And I had asked a lot of the contributors to be a part of the promotional team. And so I know that they were also telling their email lists about it. And then I also had used a lot of the contributors on my podcast. So they were pushing their viewers to the podcast who were then going to sign up for like, it was all like working as a domino effect. Kay Hillman, that's her name. I just remembered.
Oh, perfect. And yeah, yes. And there's so much lead up because you really have to tell people things multiple times before you get to the day. And so there was a lot of lead up, which was great because then people were familiar with who's in the bundle, what you're going to learn. And then when Cart actually was open, it was almost a no-brainer decision for a lot of people. You sent out an email, I think the first day Cart was open, about like how many sales we already had, and it was super exciting because there was a lot of people that were just literally waiting for you to turn it on and say, okay, yes, you can go buy it. Will you share a little bit about the results and like the income you earned from the bundle?
Yeah, so total generated was $28,000, like a little over. And that was before just like any Stripe fees, PayPal fees. So I will try to like break it down specifically. So like after you take out PayPal fees, Stripe fees, all of that was a little under $27,000. But then it's not like I pocketed $27,000. I was like, oh great, I just made 5 figures. I also had utilized the contributors, and every contributor, if they sold the bundle like to their list, they had their own affiliate link, and they would get 70% of $97. And that's actually really high for industry standards. Normally it's like 30% or 40, but I'm like, no way, like these contributors not only contributed their time and effort and resources, and they're telling their list, which is very valuable. They're pushing them to this bundle. They're getting 70%. Like, I don't care how foolish that is financially. They're going to get it. And so that also inspired a lot of contributors to really talk to their lists. And so that was where a lot of that number came from. So I paid out, and I was so excited. I paid out over $15,000 in affiliate money to various contributors. I had even like top affiliates too. And it was just like so much fun for me to like be like, hey, your payout's coming out soon. And then of course like taxes and all that stuff. So but I still like made 5 figures from the bundle, even after everything was said and done, and which my husband was blown away. Like, he had seen me work so hard from July to February, and he was a little skeptical too. He's like, Dolly, like, is this all gonna work out? Like, but he was like so excited for me, not for the money, but just like to see the ROI, to see like how like everything came together. And so if you're listening in and you're like, I really want to do a paid bundle just for the money, don't do it just for the money. Do it, like, again, like we were sharing, like, do it for the connections you will make in the long term. Do it for like finding those subscribers who you're going to serve in the long run. Don't just do it for the money, because the money like will be you'll get a quick cash injection and that's it. But if you do it and like retain those subscribers, that's the sweet spot. And that is like, they will help, like they will walk with you in the next X amount of years that you're in business, and they're going to help you create even more products that are like well-serving for your future clients.
Yeah, bundles are really, at least for me, so much more than about the money, which Dolly was incredibly gracious with the affiliate stuff. Like she said, most of the time you're maybe getting an affiliate commission of like 10 to 20% depending on the host. But you're also getting all of these connections with other business owners, and then all of those people who opted in, which I looked right before this podcast, and not a single person that opted into my product in the bundle has unsubscribed from my email list, which kind of blew my mind. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
That makes me so happy.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, because like, I'm going to make your head big. Like, you are incredible at what you do. You like know your stuff. Like, you're very, very specific about what you teach, and people like that. they like specifics.
Thank you.
They like specifics.
I try to be super specific about how you can help people, and then I'm all about supporting people on the other side, which Dolly also built in a lot of things to this bundle. So after you buy, there's a deadline to download everything, which I think it's a year, which is super gracious. And then you've also made it so easy to like remind people, hey, go download your stuff. Here's where everything is. You made a hub where you can download everything on one page, which is amazing. And it makes it such a great buying experience.
Well, thank you. I just pretty much took everything that I did not like about past bundles that I've been a part of, and I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the exact opposite, or like, how can I elevate this experience for the contributors and for the subscribers? And so that's essentially why, like, I did certain things the way I did, and I am certain, like there is always room for improvement, and I'm excited to like continue to hone in on like bundle creation and like future bundle creation. And so but thank you for your kind words. Like, it really means a lot to me.
So we've talked so much about this bundle process and what it involves to become a bundle host, which we might have overwhelmed some people, and hopefully we inspired some people, because bundles are amazing. But for someone who just wants to be a contributor for more bundles, do you have any advice about finding those opportunities or being a really valuable contributor?
Yeah, definitely. I would say continue to hone in on your specific service or topic that you teach others. Don't worry about like having to be everything to everyone. Again, we hear that phrase all the time, but do you actually believe that? Like, I really want the listener to like really dig into their strengths and like continue to hone in on like all the tools that you can do within your trade. And then while you're honing in, like create like one or two tiny products, not just to sell digitally, but in hopes to strategically place them in future bundles that would be in alignment with what you do. So that way, like, if you are in a bundle, when you start like pitching yourselves to other bundles, or if people pitch you to be in a bundle, you actually have something to share with them, and you don't have to like spend the next 3 or 4 months creating something. And another thing I would say for a business owner who wants to be a contributor, you can like actively, I know that there are Facebook groups out there that just talk about bundles, and they have like, ironically, I'm in a Facebook group about bundles. And the only reason why I am is because this one subscriber who subscribed and purchased the funnel bundle, they pitched to me to be a part of their bundle. And then they invited me to their Facebook group that they lead about bundles. And I was like, this is so meta. I love it. And so she makes sure to like just open up the platform to like, hey, if you are wanting to lead this type of bundle, put your name here and you guys can contribute together. So anyways, there are Facebook groups. Start like, if you're like, I don't know if there is a bundle for XYZ, like, do your research, or better yet, just like create one. Like, find like 5 or 6 of your closest business friends that are in alignment with what you do, that can serve your ideal customer, and like create your own small bundle and go from there. Because like and then you can also pitch yourself to other people. I get pitches constantly in my inbox for future bundles, and I'm really honest with the people who pitch me. Like, I say, okay, well, I'm actually done planning the bundle for like in the next 3 or 4 months, but can I keep your name for next year? And so I'm usually really honest with them, or I let them know, hey, this is not a good fit, or hey, this is a good fit. So pitch yourself, or create one with your closest business friends, or look at them in Facebook groups, research. There's so many things you can do to find bundles that are in alignment with your business.
Yeah, and there's so many opportunities out there once you start looking. And I love that advice to be niche, because that helped. As my business has gotten more and more niche, most of the bundles I've been in, people approached me about, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Though I now have like a 2 pitch list for this year, which is super exciting.
That's exciting. I'm so excited for you.
That's one of my goals. One question I know we're probably going to get that I want to cover is, what's the difference between a bundle and a summit? Because a summit is also very common, and they're not quite the same thing, though there's some overlap. So I want to dive into those 2 areas.
Yeah. So ironically, I'm actually planning my first summit. So I'm doing an iteration of my Systems and Workflow Magic brand, and I'm calling it the Systems and Workflow Magic Summit, but the theme is about email marketing. So it's going to be systems and workflows of email marketing. But the difference in my mind is that summits are like very limited. You have like 24 hours normally to watch and consume the video presentations, because they're all video presentations. And versus a bundle, it's not just video presentations. It could be a free resource like PDF, or it could be a template, or it could be a mini course. Like you get instant access, versus a summit, like you have to watch at certain time slots to consume. And yes, summits are free, but then on the back end, if you want ongoing access to all the presentations, and then all the bonus material that comes with the presentations to like elevate the presentations, there is a payment. And so it just depends on who's leading the summit. Like sometimes summits can be 97, sometimes they can be 297. It just like really depends on like what the theme of the summit is. And so, yeah, I'm currently building out a summit right now. And before we hit record, I was telling Mara, I'm like, wow, it's a lot of work. I mean, I still am treating it like I'm only working on it every Friday, and I have my finding contributors. Whoa, that again, I had to work through a lot of mindset stuff again, like, even though, because I was like, well, I've never led a summit, so everybody's going to say no to me. And like, I've gotten only yeses. Like I've gotten 2 no's because they didn't have time. Like, and they let me know, like, let me know for next time you do it. So it wasn't like a no, Dolly, you don't know what you're talking about. It was a no, Dolly, I don't have time, but I will support you. Like, so I've gotten a lot of yeses. I have the contributors. They're all very niche. They all teach about email marketing. They're all like very specific to email marketing strategies for systems and workflows. So I'm really, really excited about it, but it's going to be a lot of work because it involves video presentations. Like that is something that a beast I'm tackling right now, but I have purchased from somebody who was in the bundle with us, Krista Miller, who is the Summit Queen. I call her the Summit Queen. She sells this program called Summit in a Box. And so I purchased it from her. Again, I made that connection because of a bundle. I met her through a bundle, and then she was in my bundle, and then now she's like, I love learning from her. And so she's teaching me step by step, like just a system and a process for it. So it's not like a water hose of information in my face. And I'm just literally chewing on it every day, like literally. And it's going to be great. I'm really, really excited. Like everything's coming together, but since I have never done this before, I've only done bundles. Of course, I'm overwhelmed, but I'm like,
so
I can
excited.
see the end.
And Dolly gave me the link, so I'll make sure to include it in the show notes because it's in June of 2023. Yes. So it'll be pretty quickly after this episode comes out. And I am not hosting the summit because email marketing, honestly, is not always my area of expertise. But as soon as tickets go on sale, like I already am like, I'm going to sign up. I need access to all of the recordings because I know it's going to be amazing because I still regularly go through the bundle products of the other contributors and learn so much about things in my own business, which is incredible to have that as a resource to constantly implement.
Well, good. I'm so glad to hear that because like one of my goals as not only a bundle creator, but a summit creator is to make sure that contributors who contribute create no fluff products because again, that's another reason why people are so burned out from bundles and summits, is because a lot of the information they're consuming is fluff. Like fluff material that you can easily Google, fluff material that like you probably already knew, and it was packaged in a way in a video presentation. And like, here's the thing, like, if you're going to be a part of a summit or a part of a bundle, you should bring your A game. Even if it's free, bring your A game so you can better serve the subscriber, so that like they can start knowing you, liking you, and trusting you down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we wrapped up, I have two things, because I bugged Dolly, first of all, to give away some sort of freebie to my audience, because I have a bunch of her opt-ins that I've downloaded just like a nerd and gone to her website and used them. And her mini courses and trainings are also amazing. So will you share your free gift that you are sharing with everyone here today?
Yeah, definitely. I have this freebie called How to Automate and Streamline the Back-End Puzzle Pieces of Your Opt-ins and your bundles. So if you decide to lead a bundle, like I have put together a comprehensive checklist all on a Trello board for you to go from like left to right, just what goes in on the back end to better streamline. Like, let's say you've been asked to be a contributor. So now you know all the puzzle pieces you need to put in place to make like the host job easier. Or if you decide, I kind of like want to build out my own bundle, like what puzzle pieces do I need from the contributors? Like this will help out. That's the goal essentially of this freebie. And I also am leading a bundle intensive with my friend Megan Ward. She is a digital marketer educator, and she also teaches on email marketing. So she's incredible. I met her through a bundle, and now we are friends, and she lives in Middle Tennessee. I found out she lives in Middle Tennessee, so now we hang out, and she's amazing. So anyways, she and I decided, after I led this bundle, this like first paid bundle, we're like talking about the importance of just email marketing and building out your email list, and how there's still like this misconception on the online space, and how people just don't really understand email marketing. And so we are leading this intensive, and it's going to be a 4-month, like kind of like a mastermind group for people who want to learn how to exponentially grow their email list with a bundle. And so we both are going to be like literally holding everybody's hands in this intensive and helping them create their first bundle, and so that they can also experience good and strategic email list growth. And so that opens up in August, and so I'll share the waitlist link with you as well. But yeah, we're excited about that. There's just a lot of exciting things happening.
You always have so many amazing projects, and even like as we were doing the bundle, you were starting to like shift to the next thing, and I'm like, Dolly is just amazing and incredible. Like, you're always trying new things, which is so inspiring to me, of just like, you're not someone who has run a ton of bundles, or like you said, this is your first summit and you're just going for it and figuring it out and pitching people, which is always very inspiring to see, because I also, people never believe this, but like you, I'm more introverted. Pitching is still scary, even though I've done like tons of podcasts and speaking at this point. I'm always like, no, who am I to think that I could do this? So I'm so excited about everything you're creating.
Thank you. Can I share like one more point with the listeners who are wanting? So if you're listening and you're like, okay, I really want to create a bundle, and I really want to pitch myself to like bigger people with a bigger platform, keep this in mind. People with bigger audiences and bigger platform, like the Amy Porterfields or the Jenna Kutchers, like, yeah, I would highly recommend, like, go for it. But you have to keep in mind that they most likely have their next year mapped out and content planned out very strategically, because they are on like they have specific launches and times of year where they launch and when they promote, and they're promoting other people. So if you want bigger people, like quote unquote bigger people on as contributors, you have to pitch them like way ahead of time to get on their content calendar. Otherwise, you will get no's. Like if you pitch, like I can't think of anybody else, like just like bigger names in your mind. And it's not because they're being mean or snotty and turning you down. Like they already have their content mapped out. And so you have to like strategically think through that. And so I have an example. Like I pitched myself to like some bigger names and they said no at the time, but they told me come back at me next year at this time because I know I'll have an opening. And so I did that and they said yes to me. Just be sure to like really give yourself ample time to pitch to people. And if these people have bigger platforms, give them ample time to plan it out.
Yeah, because a no isn't always a no. Sometimes it's a
Yes.
not right now. And they really
Yes.
do, like, are probably planning 2024 while the rest of us
Yes.
are still trying to figure out the rest of
Planning
2023.
the rest of our
Yeah,
week.
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Dolly. This was amazing. I'm so excited to share this with people because bundles are an area that a lot of people don't know a ton about, but they can have such a huge impact on your business, whether you're hosting one or you're just being an amazing contributor. So thank you for letting us pick your brain today and just being such an incredible educator in the online space.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me on. And I'm really excited to continue to support your podcast. And I cannot wait to see you in more bundles and just to see what this year brings for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.